welcome to the March 5th, 2017 edition of the Waldoboro Scoop, your update of the goings-on in our beautiful town. The backdrop here is actually from Friendship that I took yesterday while I was out and about, but I liked it, so I put it on there. But let's get right to it. I've got kind of a mixed bag of news here for you today. I hope you enjoy it. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. We'll start off with the Select Board has called a special town meeting for a week from Tuesday. That's March 4th, 2017 at the town office at 6 p.m. The town meeting is going to cover one item, which is to fund repairs to our Pine Street landing. Being an open town meeting, questions and comments will be heard from the floor, so bring those along with you if you have any questions. The town, in reference to this, has received a fairly large Small Harbor Improvement Program, or SHIP, grant to help with some major improvements to the landing, but needs to approve about $150,000 more from the undesignated fund balance in matching funds for the program. I am of the understanding that these are necessary improvements. So, like most of you probably know, the landing is not only used by shellfish harvesters, but it's also used by residents and tourists for river access. It's a fairly important place in town. Should this article pass, the work is scheduled to be completed sometime in October of this year. But speaking about shellfish harvesters, a big shout out to all the diggers out there. Waldoboro again was the #1 town in Maine for soft shell clam harvesting, pulling in over 847,000 pounds in 2015 and almost 918,000 pounds in 2016. Machias Port had the second largest haul with almost 477,000 pounds. Way to go, Waldoboro! Also, the town's put out a request for bids for the purchase and installation of an electronic sign for the front lawn of the town office. This is to replace the old decrepit wooden sign, which is no longer there, which used to mark the municipal building. It's expected to look something like this drawing here. So, the bids does state that the sign will have a message board itself, about 30 inches tall, 8 feet wide, and be mounted on a pole or poles 5 to 6 feet high. The message board will be full color and expected to be used to communicate information to the residents. The budget for this item is set at $25,000 or less. Also kind of cool, somewhere else in town, the Waldoboro Environmental Park has received a USDA Renewable Energy Grant in the amount of $10,699 to help purchase and install a 12.48 kilowatt-hour solar PV on a new structure that they're building on One Pie Road. That system is expected to produce enough electricity to power an average household, and all that electricity will be used within the building. And another item is all of the town roads have been posted for the spring because of the wet weather we've had. This means travel will be restricted to vehicles under 23,000 pounds. Special permits may be obtained for emergency use of overweight vehicles with the permission of the Public Works Director, and can be picked up by either contacting the Public Works Director, John Daigle, or the town office, and they can issue permits. Now for scheduled upcoming meetings, there are 3 meetings scheduled for this upcoming week. Once again, all meetings are scheduled for 6 p.m. at the Municipal Building Conference Room unless otherwise noted. The first meeting is a special Select Board meeting on Wednesday at 5 p.m. It was called for a personnel matter in executive or closed session. The agenda also calls for action on the item afterwards, if necessary, which will be public. Next is a planning board meeting, also on Wednesday, but this will be at 6 p.m. That agenda will discuss a pre-site plan for the First Baptist Church and a possible expansion. And also an informational presentation by the Bug Tussle Brooder, S&J Llama LLC, whatever that is, not quite sure. Lastly, there'll be a transfer station committee meeting, which I have no agenda as they're trying to reschedule right now for possibly the 15th of March because some people can't make this week's meeting. So we'll have to see what happens there. And now for the weather scoop. Looks like a high of 28 today and warming as the week progresses. Look at Wednesday, 52 degrees and then cooling as the weekend advances, but the highs stay at or above freezing. We're looking at a little bit of rain Tuesday night into Wednesday, probably a quarter inch, maybe a little more, but spring is definitely on the way. So that's it for this week's scoop. I hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week. This program is funded exclusively by A+ Recycling and Rubbish Removal. A+ removes rubbish regularly for home and commercial accounts to help keep your property clean. Open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.